Welcome to the NexGen show. And this is the show. My name is Ham. And in this show, we talk to young and promising leaders who are growing into the industry and climbing the corporate ladder. Today, we have Nazir Fuad with us. Welcome, Nazir, to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. And let's get talking. So tell us, you've been in the business for quite a bit. Are you having fun?
Yeah, I've been in the advertising space for just a little over 3 years now. So I've had my fair share of, different clients, different brands. So yeah, I've been having a good time.
Okay. Do you have clients who say that, can you do me this job for free? Then the next one I will pay you. Promise.
No,
you don't do free
no. And in my agency, it's very professional. We don't start work unless everything is in black and white on pen and paper.
Okay, but I'm sure there are clients who ask the question, right?
Yeah, they try to, after a long time working with you and having a good relationship, they do ask for freebies here and there. So, we see how we can navigate it and, how we can include it within our costs.
Makes sense. Yes, that makes sense. Now the season is to do, at the moment, most of the agencies are busy doing festive ads. Are you also equally busy in that space?
Yes, especially for CNY, that's fast and up and coming. So I think we're in, pitching mode where everybody's in a room, everybody's brainstorming ideas. And I think a lot of people are going through the same challenges. How do you tell a story that everybody else is telling in a different way? How can you stand out amongst a very saturated space at the moment? So I think that's the main key area which we're looking into and where we're pitching at.
CNY next year, what year is it? Year of the?
I believe it's Year of the Snake.
Year of the Snake, right. Yeah, I agree with you. Most of our festive commercials can be broadly classified in highly emotional category, makes you want to cry. It's not a bad thing. Funny, sometimes simply awkward, It can be quite challenging.
Yeah, I think where a lot of brands fall into the trap of trying to do a festive campaign, but also hard selling their brand, which I think for me is a bit of a turnoff. Like the best festive campaigns I've seen are the ones that are very subtle, that subtly slip in their message or subtly slip in their brand. Because I think that is what I resonate most with. It's not so much in your face, very, very forceful.
Interestingly, Nazir, festive advertising, if you combine the amount that is spent on advertising for all the festives, festive holidays we have, and also including Merdeka, it's quite substantial. What I mean is, a brand that regularly spends or invests in advertising, I would say 30% or more is actually in festive. So it is, like you mentioned, it's very critical. Even though some people say, I'm just doing a Chinese New Year ad, but no, it's very critical, and you're right. They got to get it right.
They have to.
What are the sort of, shall we say, truths? Yeah? Truths, observations. Because most of these ideas actually mirror how brand advertising is also done. The process is almost the same in the sense that you have to look for some the DNA of the brand, right?
Yeah.
Like Coca-Cola will be about some lifestyle and the youth feeling, things like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same essence of just, trying to storytell and pull the heartstrings and make sure that it accurately represents each culture, because that's, very important. But also, again, what I mentioned previously, it's about subtly embedding that message in and not being too front-facing with it.
That is quite a challenge. Because brands naturally want the brand name in your face. So
Especially if they're paying a lot for it.
especially if they're paying a lot for it. But I think most of them also have matured, have matured to understand what you are saying, in the sense that less is more, right? Tell us about a recent experience you've had with a client which really made you feel that you are of value.
Of value.
To their brand, yeah.
To me, I particularly like clients who are active listeners. I mean, even if we take a step back, not just clients, but leaders in general who, listen to feedback, I think are particularly very strong. Clients that are open to ideas, clients who are open for discussions, I think those have been the best clients that I've worked with in the past.
But you must be doing quite fair bit of new business presentations also, right? Somebody told me a story recently that they worked really hard, because I know that this new business pitches preparation is not easy. I mean, you work a lot and you have to invest corporate time and money to put into it. So somebody was telling me a story, they made a presentation and the client didn't even say thank you as they were leaving the room. And they were on their phones all the time. If that ever happened to you, will you be disappointed?
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be disappointed, because I think, you meet anyone in the advertising industry and they have all had their fair share of challenging clients. I don't think you can be in this industry and not meet a client who you have had difficulty with. For me, even in the past, I've had clients walk out of meeting rooms after mid-presentations because it didn't align with exactly what they wanted. And to be honest, you just take it as, a learning experience, and you make sure to learn and do better from it. So I don't take anything too personally, and I think that, in this industry, you have to have a bit of a thick skin.
Thick skin, huh?
Yeah.
Well, how will they learn if they don't know? Like if the brand marketer or client, let's just say client, is not appreciative. Let's make it very polite. Is not appreciative of what is being shared, and is rude. Who is going to tell the client that they are rude?
Yeah.
Somebody has to tell them, because even they have bosses, and their bosses also have bosses, and we also have bosses.
And I think this is just the side that you don't see a lot, Like you mentioned in the past, imagine working, nights and weeks on a pitch, thinking that it's going to be a great idea and submitting it, and then just not hearing anything back from a client for a couple of months.
Yes, that's the other thing, the hearing back, yeah?
Yeah. And then suddenly after a while, they're like, oh, we've gone with another agency. So I think proper etiquette would be needed in that sense.
I agree. Sometimes you don't hear back at all. You hear from some other agency.
Someone else, yes.
Yeah, I think the client should at least inform the non-winners first, very quickly, and very quickly inform the winners. In our business, I'm in the publishing business, we don't report until the win is confirmed. We don't second guess, because as you know, once you win an account, you got to hire people, you got to inform your existing clients and stuff like that. So tell me about preparing for a new business pitch. Do you work overnight?
I think a lot of agency people do. I mean, that's the agency lifestyle, I think, or at least that's what I've been experiencing over the past couple of years. It's long nights, sometimes working on weekends, a lot of sacrifices just for that one big pitch that you may or may not get. So, and I've learned over the years to just, you're not going to win every pitch, but just to take a step back and enjoy the process. Enjoy the late nights, enjoy the brainstorming with your coworkers, enjoy, ideating. And, if you get the pitch, that's great. You can go on from it. And if you don't, just learn from it and move on.
So what is your record? How many nights have you not slept?
I stopped counting.
Oh, okay. Well, I remember when I was in the business a long time ago, mine was 3 nights.
In the office?
In the office. Of course, we got pizza all coming non-stop and non-stop coffee. But I was very young then. I don't think that sort of stamina is in India with the other people who are working in industry these days.
Do you think it's a shift of generations or a shift of mindset? Or do you think it's just a shift of like culture where...
I think it's the shift in the nature of the chain of command. You know, the chain of command in those days was commanding. Now the chain of command is more, shall we say, friendly, user-friendly. Yeah? They got the work-life balance and DEI, DIE and ESG and MSG and whatever you want to call it, that they are all so fixated about, my personal opinion, that the whole, it's lost in the translation, So sometimes you don't know who the boss is also. Last time it was, not very long ago, but it was quite clear, we're going to have a creative review, for example. Okay, this person is doing this person is doing that. We work as a team, which still is the case. But I think we are more tolerant now.
In a good way? Or what do you think?
I think, okay, let's talk about work-life balance, I think the term also is wrong. I think it should be work-life integration. Yeah. Sometimes people say the word balance, it's like, somebody wins, somebody doesn't win. It's unbalanced, balance, I think it's more like work-life integration. Like you say, you go with the flow. This is the experience of working in this industry, So you integrated that with your...
I think this is also the thing that people also don't see as often, when you talk about the advertising industry. People sometimes glamorize it as this thing which they don't see the behind the scenes of the late night sessions and whatnot. So I would say if you love to be in a creative space, if you love to be, strategizing, then yes, this is definitely a great place to be because you get to rub shoulders with, the top people in the industry. You get to work with all these different type of clients and brands and industries. I know for me, the agency life is tough, but at the same time, I can never say it's boring. I can never say it's boring because you're constantly changing your environment and you're changing what you experience and you learn like so many things. So to me, the advertising industry is great, but just with a disclaimer that it's going to be a hustle for the next couple of years.
I agree with you. That is 100% correct. What about your generation? You're in your mid-20s. What about your generation? What sort of feedback do you get when you tell them that you are working in the advertising industry?
Feedback from who?
So what do your friends think, when they know that, Nazir, you're working in an advertising agency,
They think it's quite simple. They think it's just like a click social media post type of job, but it's actually a lot more in depth and a lot more planning and work behind it.
True.
Yeah. I mean, I've worked with a range of large and small clients, and I guess they both have their pros and cons. For large clients, I would say, yes, you get the big budgets and you have a bit more creative freedom, but to get something off the ground, it is so difficult because there's so many people involved. There's so many layers of approval. There's so many meetings and then meetings after the meetings. I remember one time I was trying to pitch an idea to this client because they're very traditional. They have Facebook, they have Instagram. I told them, why not go on TikTok? Your competitors are on TikTok. Here is the engagement that they're getting. This is the content that you could be doing. And then just to get that idea off the ground, they said they liked it, but it just went back and forth for months and then it ended up not transpiring to anything. So I think that's why sometimes smaller accounts are a bit more fun to work with because they're just more open and they're more willing to take risks, in my opinion.
This is very interesting because it is the small players who are hungry, yeah, and it's the big players who can get comfortable, but nothing like being suddenly shocked by the competition. Like when you talk to a client, everything is hunky-dory and nice and all that. But when you talk to them about their competition, notice the
change of reaction.
Yes. Of course, there are brands that are comfortable with their competition. What sort of any advertisement that struck you recently, which you found, I wish I did that, or this is interesting?
The best ads that I've seen are the ones that capitalize on an opportunity or on a trend. Something that was never supposed to be an ad, but they saw it as an opportunity and then they hopped on it. I think one example I can give you is, are you familiar with Stanley tumblers?
Yes.
Yeah. So how they rose in popularity was so interesting to me. Someone recorded a TikTok of their car being on fire. And when they opened it, they saw that the only thing that was undamaged was the Stanley tumbler. And they used and capitalized on that opportunity to go viral on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook. And their sales just shot through the roof. And when I saw it, I was like, this is the thing that brands should be doing more of, capitalizing on real events and current events.
Yes.
Because that's what resonates with people. And that's what's a bit more authentic rather than, just paying an influencer millions of dollars and just having her hold it up in front of their screens and saying, like, buy this product,
Yeah, the Stanley, the tumbler, yes, I remember that. Very topical. Yeah. But the challenge, like you said, was to try to convince an advertiser who you're working for. So the selling of that, yeah. Of course, you can use that example that you have shared just now, which is very exciting. But in the absence of examples, it is very challenging for the person to be able to, sell. So this to be able to convince, persuade, which is what advertising is all about, right? So how critical you find the importance of selling?
I'm quite glad you brought that up because I think a lot of people think that it's about the big idea. The big idea, they're going to love this idea, but they don't take into consideration the element of selling it to the client because I think that's a completely different ballgame of its own. You really need to come with more than just data because I remember trying to sell something of a client and I backed it up with data and insights and case studies. But if the client doesn't want to do it, then it's very difficult to change their mind over something. Or there are some clients where I'll have two ideas. One idea I think is fantastic, really good. The second idea, I think it's all right. But at times I will pitch the first idea because I know they'll reject whatever you pitch first to them. And then come with the second idea and they'll be like, yeah, that one's not bad. So it's one of those things where like you have to really understand who you're dealing with. You have to understand the client, their personality, and you have to figure out how to navigate them in a way where you can work with them and make them understand your vision and trying to sell that idea across.
They say that, you can come up with anything great. And, in our business, everybody have got their own ideas or, how to do something better. And I always say, there is another part where you have to sell like hell, to make it happen. Great talking to you, Nazir.
Great talking to you.
Fantastic. Thank you again, yeah?
Thank you for having me.
Sure. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's our show for today, and all the best.